Okay, so here you've got Caduceus feedback. I think that that makes sense. You'll probably be able to get a lot of auto attacks off against this enemy team. They don't have a ton of dive pressure. Basically, like, as long as your positioning isn't terrible, they won't be able to hurt you that much. They have 3 melee. Basically, I like to count Greymane as half a melee, so like 3.5 melee. And also it's just, if you have decent auto attack mechanics, it's very easy to just abuse Caduceus feedback at 1. I think I'm saying that right, Caduceus? I don't know. But it's very easy to abuse that versus these players. That's a little... that's fine. Let's see, here we can heal him out. Ganis, you at least want to be throwing your W on him. Safeguard, he is taking a lot of damage. Anytime, like, one of your teammates is getting bursted down or is just going to take a bunch of damage, really good idea to pop Safeguard. Safeguard costs literally nothing. It doesn't take any energy. It's only a cooldown. So great idea just to throw it right there. It used to cost mana, so you actually did have to do a bit of a sort of cost-benefit analysis when you cast Safeguard. And there was a certain damage threshold where it literally... You would have just saved more resources healing the damage than if you had popped Safeguard. But now that we're in this situation where you have the energy post-rework, which was a long time ago at this point, and Safeguard doesn't cost anything, it's very easy to just throw it on someone that happens to be a burst target. So this is an interesting lane setup to say the least, but I know that this is low silver, so I'm gonna go ahead and just roll with it right now. So here, you're getting your energy back up. And once again, I would pop Safeguard right on this Mal'Ganis. Just save yourself a bit of energy. Because the less damage he takes right here, the less time it takes to heal him back up, and the faster you can rotate down to your teammates who also need your healing. So that is one thing, just the first thing that sticks out so far to me is just maybe standing a little bit too far forward at times and allowing the Greymane to jump on you, but primarily not enough usage of the Safeguard so far. Let's see. So like right here, no, don't do this. This is ridiculously greedy. Your Falstad is at half health. Your Vala's at half health. You do very, very little siege damage. Your job is to heal. And there are no minions being soaked right now. You should definitely be somewhere else on the map at this moment. It's not your job, especially as Lieutenant Morales. You can maybe soak as Rhaegar in certain scenarios, but this is not your job to solo soak mid. And your teammates would be able to pressure the map more if they were receiving healing. Because right now, you haven't healed the Falstad or Vala basically at all. And they really needed that because then the Falstad wouldn't have been taken off the map right here. And your teammates would have been able to defend bot lane much more effectively. So let's see. You're good. You should be able to just walk right on out. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. What happened here? I didn't see the Uther walk up. So here, you don't really need to be auto-attack trading with this Greymane, but it looks like it works out. So how did you get so low is my question. Is there an Uther around? Okay. Oh, see right there, that turnaround auto attack didn't really need to happen, but I also think you just followed a little too far. Like, your teammates weren't gonna die if you didn't step up with them, but you did. So first of all, you're too low at this moment because you're just walking up and trading with Greymane, which gets you to 60% right there. So you're gonna be missing some health as you walk in here. Yeah. So you were missing about 10% of your health, right? So then we look at this. If you have 10% more health here, you survive. You actually get out of this. If you don't stand up and just trade with the Greymane, or if you don't just follow your teammates in, you make it out of this just fine. Also, let me see here. What was the level 4? So I think I might have seen you pop Cellular Reactor just to, as a self-heal, and that's not how it's supposed to be used. Cellular, this word always trips me up. Cellular Reactor is not just a button you press for self-heal, because you have self-heal baked into your kit.
Skill, baby.
Thanks for the follow, Strife.
This is what #1 GM looks like, baby.
So you have self-heal baked into your kit. I'm not sure where the trait is on the Aliobs button, on the Aliobs interface. But the way Medic works, as you heal people, you'll self-heal for 2% of your health per second. So you don't think of this as a button you just press to sort of refresh your health in lane, especially health that you lost from taking an unnecessary trade. This should be something that you're pressing to not die, is the way I think of it. Like, watching someone use Cellular Reactor in lane just to heal their health back up, I would consider to be analogous to, but not to the same degree, because I know you're a League player, analogous to, but not to the same degree as watching someone flash to get back into lane faster. It's a bit of a misuse of the cooldown. So let's see here. So now your Cellular Reactor is down and you're still not full health, whereas you could have been walking into this with full health. So if you didn't take the Greymane trade or just didn't pop Cellular Reactor but instead let yourself heal off of your passive, or I think even if you dismounted the Uther right there with your auto attacks, I think any of those things individually could have saved your life right there. Also, if you were not soaking mid lane and not sieging by yourself, then you could have, then this lane wouldn't have had so much pressure on it in the first place, because the only reason it has pressure is because your teammates in the bot lane weren't getting healed, which allowed the enemy team to shove in on them really hard. Like, I think fixing any of the things we've talked about so far would have negated this first death. Kadukia seems good. I've been using Flash incorrectly all this time, love it. Alright, let's see. Teammates are dying, what else is new? Go ahead and heal this guy, he needs a safeguard. Looks like he'll be okay. Then this Mal'Ganis could use a bit of a top off right there. I think you could have healed him no problem. And he would have been going into this at 100% instead of at 90%. Mal'Ganis is the heal target, there you go. Then you press D and cancel your healing. There you go. Ooh, why are you so far up? Ooh, you're still really far up. Diablo could have easily wall-stunned you there, flipped you into his back line, and then Uther just stun chains you, and you guaranteed die here. Without a doubt, you were too far up, and if this Diablo was like plat or higher, you would have died right there, and your team would have instantly lost the objective. Because you have to think of Diablo as a wall stun charge character in the same way that if you walk up to a Poppy as a Soraka in League of Legends, right next to her entire enemy team, you're just gonna 1v5 and die. So let's see, you're healing, you're healing, you're healing. Life's good. Just keep the healing flowing. You're in a safe position. Falstad needs to be the heal target. Yeah, the Falstad could have gotten healing earlier rather than people that are at full health. And I think that you likely could have saved him. Good that you're not standing in the Jaina Blizzard as you contribute to this. This Mal'Ganis needs your healing though. I'm not sure what's happening here in the back. These people still need your healing. There we go. So a little cheeky trick you could have done that, this is something more high level, but that rag was popping Molten Core right there in vision. And it's a bit of a channel, and then he takes over the fort. Let me see if we can watch this back again. So Ragnaros, you can see him right here with the channel about to do the fort. I don't think he would have pulled it off, but one thing that I like to do when I see people do dumb stuff like this is you just grenade over the wall, interrupt the channel, and then it goes... he wouldn't have been able to get into that right away. Either way, though, like I said, that's more high level and we're focusing on the fundamentals. It's just something that came to mind. So let's see. Besieging this out. We're not going to follow too deep. Okay, so one thing in this scenario, you can actually heal the minions. And healing minions gives you way more longevity on a push. Let's see. The fort still died anyway, but I think it would have just been the right move in that scenario. You were at full energy, they were too far back to threaten you. It's probably the right call. I think that here you're doing okay, because this was a massive minion wave that no one was soaking, and your teammates aren't in immediate danger, so I do think that in this situation it was fine, although you did miss a, what's it called, a healing globe that would have put you back at full health. So then before I leave here, what I would do, and this is a trick that's pretty important to know on Lieutenant Morales. So as I mentioned earlier, as your healing targets, you self-heal for 2% health per second. Well, if you're healing a target that's at full health, it doesn't take any energy from you, but your healing beam is still active, so you still, didn't they nerf healing minions? I'm pretty sure Lieutenant Morales can still do it. Yep, heal target, allied hero, or minion. They took it away from a lot of characters, but not from every single one, and Lieutenant Morales is one of the characters that can still heal their minions. I believe they took away healing bruisers, though, because that was very, very oppressive. Your Lieutenant Morales would just heal the bruiser camp and just keep it alive, and the push was just oppressive. Let me see here. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so if you're healing a target, you gain 2% of your health per second, and if you're healing a target at full health, then the heal beam stays on them, but it doesn't drain any of your energy. So you can actually abuse this, and if you heal someone at full health, you'll self-heal without losing any energy. It's just a fun little trick to do, and I probably would have done it for just like a second or two right there, just to top myself off, so I'm going to bot lane with 100% health rather than being just a little bit down, because being down 10% health can make a difference if people jump on you. It's, you know, just why not have more health? So let's see here. Like right here, you could have been doing it on the Asmodan. Looks like your teammates are popping off, though. Right now, this Asmodan's not in any danger and your teammates are actively fighting. I would say you need to rotate straight to them. This is definitely where you need to be at the moment. It looks like you maybe were auto-attack trading with the Greymane. I see that you lost some health right here. Auto-attack trading is something you do on Medic to use Caduceus feedback to get your energy back, because you get 4 energy every time you hit a hero, but there's no healing that you need to be doing in this lane, so I'm not sure why you were trading with him. Yeah. Let's see. So the globe was missed again, but your Asmodan picked it up for you. But you definitely needed to be in this mid lane healing your teammates. Like I said, like when you're playing Morales, this is a purely healing character. All of your utility is in being around people that need healing, being at these fights. You're not a split push character. You don't need to be around people that don't need healing. So then right there, this is also a very dangerous pathing to take upwards into this fight. So let's see here, let's go back over this. As you walk into here, your teammates are both going left. You can curl around like this and get to them. When you walk up right here, you just walk right into the Diablo wall stun angle, which I'm not sure if he has up right now. Yep, he did. So you very easily could have gotten wall stunned into flipped into Greymane pressure. They might have gone for it. Maybe it works out for you guys. Like Vala can just punish it with rain, but I would not lean on depending on my teammates to play it correctly. I would just go for the no risk play and probably curl around the left side rather than getting wall stunned here. Ooh, that's this should work out actually, because so the second you popped your ult, they should have walked away. I think that this only works out because the enemy team was bad. Because you pop your ult and they keep attacking you, and if you were against anybody with a brain here, they would have just seen you waste your ult and literally just hightailed it out of there and say, oh hey, we got a free ult for nothing. Then they hit 10, they're now up 3 ults on you guys, and you guys lose the next fight. So you saw here as well, when you curled up this way instead of on the left side, you curled up on the right side, you ended up being in the front line for your team there, which may have incentivized you to pop that ult unnecessarily. Again, I just want to stress that even though this play worked out and got you guys a double kill, this was purely out of the enemy team feeding, and it wasn't actually a good play. And I think it's very, very important to highlight those moments, because if you go into these things with a sort of results-oriented view where all you think about is did something work out, then you're going to end up with a lot of bad habits like the ones we're talking about right here. Whereas I want to talk about things in a sense of the fundamentals, in a sense of, was this a smart idea? Was this a good idea into smart enemy players, not just did this work out because they didn't know what they were doing. If Diablo is diamond or higher, your team gets giga farmed. I agree with that. We've seen a lot of situations where I think we need to see a little bit more safety. That was a very good grenade follow-up right there in your Mal'Ganis. Let's see. Ooh, see, like right here, like your energy's already recharging. You're at like 80 energy. You would have still gotten it a second later. There was no reason to go for that auto attack. Let's see. So you need to be healing your Mal'Ganis right now. He's like at 30% health. There we go. That's one way to use Dark Conversion, I guess. And your Mal'Ganis wouldn't have felt the need to waste his ult if you had been healing him. So now you're going to go down into this next fight, down in ults, and silver things are happening right now. Right here in this situation, I would pop my grenade to peel the enemy team off of our Mal'Ganis, give him the safeguard, and then just stay at max distance. So here he popped his Necrotic Embrace, giving him 25 armor, so I would wait for after that, then do that, then give him the armor. And here, notice how after popping that stim drone in mid lane, just kind of randomly, now we don't have it for this very crucial fight. Whereas giving stim drone, or sorry, yeah, stim drone. Giving stim drone to Vala right here would have been amazing, because she's just freely auto-attacking. Mal'Ganis needs your healing. There we go. He still needs your healing. Okay, so right here again, let's talk about this. So I'm seeing more play where you're not really taking into account the Diablo wall stun. So when you go through this way, anytime you try to heal your teammates, you have to be standing right here, and you're just in position for a wall stun. Whereas if you were right here, the Diablo couldn't push you into a wall. So you see that little bit of decision making right here. Like, I think you should be right here rather than right here right now. Because watch what happens next. The Mal'Ganis starts to back up in a second. Here, you'll see what I'm talking about. Right here. Okay. So sorry, this is what I meant to talk about. So you should be going up this way, because they're going to chase your Mal'Ganis, and now when you have to step up to heal him, you're right here. This is a wall stun on either of you if this Diablo knows what he's doing. He doesn't have it up right now, but either way, you shouldn't just play like that anyway, because if he did have it up, one of you two players is dying right now. Whereas if you were up here, you could have been healing him at complete safety. Let's see. Like, overall, what I'm seeing a lot of this game is just standing in front of walls, right in front of Diablo. And if this Diablo was like a Diamond or Master player, like, you would have like 4+ deaths right now. Let's see. So once again, like right there, you're kind of just needlessly walking up to the enemy team. Like, let's discuss this. So your main tank is dead. You never win enemy trades, at least not as the primary damage dealer. And you, let's see, you don't see the enemy team. So as far as you know, they could be in this bush, they could be in that bush. You don't see the enemy team, and you're stepping up this far in lane. If the Uther was right here, or right here, or right here, you're guaranteed dead right now. Basically, just one thing I'm noticing a lot from the medic play so far is just very needlessly putting yourself in danger by getting close to the enemy team. Like, you have to kind of go into a trade asking yourself, like, what's the risk, what's the reward? And there's no situation in which this ever turns into a kill for you, but there are many situations where stepping up like that turns into a death. That was all risk, no reward. It's like right here again, if Uther steps up, because like if Uther steps up, if they flank around this way, if the Diablo is stepping forward, like Diablo could be going like this right now, and you can't even see him. Like, notice where your vision is, okay? So if the Diablo literally, and we last saw him right here, he could be walking like this, creeping up, and then you literally wouldn't see him if he was standing right there, and then you just get wall stunned and die. It's not worth a little bit of extra damage on the Guardian right there. So here, one thing I'm noticing is that if you pop stim like this, or you pop your ult like this outside of an established fight, all the enemy team has to do is just walk away. In this scenario, if you're against good players and you pop stim without being in an active team fight, they will literally just turn and walk away and wait for it to be done, and then you're just down an ult. These are ults that you have to pop once the fight is already established. Once the engage has happened or is like about to happen, like you're actively engaging on them, then sure, you can pop stim, but if you're outside of a fight, it's going to be a waste versus higher MMR players. So you can see right now, Vala's desperately running in, trying to get value out of this stim. And if this Diablo's any good, he has an extremely easy wall stun lined up. He literally just has to press Q on Vala, and then he flips her back over to where she's standing right now. The Uther walks up and stuns her. Jaina's right there to burst her. Greymane can jump on her. This Vala should die, but the Diablo's just terrible. Like, versus good players, that ult probably gets your team wiped. Just, like, assuming your team plays the same, but their Diablo has, like, half a brain cell, you probably wiped your team there. Let's see. I think your Vala could have used you more than this Mal'Ganis right there. Let's go ahead, heal up your teammates. You need to be casting heal on somebody right here. Like, all of your teammates need to be getting heals right now. There we go. You don't really want to follow him this deep. Yeah, I think you recognize that, and we're like, alright, if he wants to go that deep, he can. Let's see. Oh, what was that? False stat. Alright, let's look back at this. Like, right here, you can easily top off the Bala for nearly free. Ragnaros kind of just wasted his Molten Core. You guys are gonna hit this for free. That was a big dunk by Asmodean. I would be pinging my team to retreat, walking away, healing them on the way out. There we go. Ooh, so like right here, like what's the goal? Like looking at this, you are a Lieutenant Morales and a Mal'Ganis. You cannot kill anyone. Like literally, if both of you hit all of your abilities 2v1 on the squishiest target on the enemy team in this scenario, like say for instance, like literally Jaina is right here where the Diablo is. All other 4 players on the enemy team have disconnected and the Jaina is just standing there. You still won't kill her. So just the 2 of you cannot ever get a kill out of this situation, but you can die if the enemy team is playing this smart. Like say the Uther is mounted up right here and you continue stepping forward, there's a decent chance you die. Or like say he was right here, boom, dead. It's just a lot of high risk, no reward forward positioning that I'm seeing right now. Let's see. Gonna go ahead and be near your Vala. See right there, you need your grenade for peel. Oh. Oh, that positioning was terrifying. Okay, so let me look at this back again. So we saw Diablo right there. I think we're going to see him again right here. Okay, so Diablo in this situation will often just sit right behind this gate. So he went over there. He still could be behind the gate. He still could be behind the gate. And you step up to here. If he's mounted right here or right here, and you step up that far, you get flipped into being right here and you can die very, very easily. Because you have to keep in mind, you literally can't see what's happening right here at all. And Diablo players, what they will do all the time is literally sit right behind the gate, and anytime you step up, pop that flip, and then now all of a sudden you are just dead. We're seeing a lot of frontlining right now. Kind of the same issue that we had with the Li Ming earlier. Oh, whoa, what was that? Hold on a second. So here you need to walk away from the Diablo, right? So he's got a wall stun on you right here because you're kind of just standing in front of this fort, which does count as a wall, by the way. You cannot walk through a dead fort. So you need to either be up here or down here, but right in front of the fort will generally mean you're in much more dangerous position than you should be. So then here, you missed the grenade just barely. Honestly, this looks like it should have hit. It was super, super close. But either way, that's a mechanical misplay. You had the right idea trying to push the Diablo away. My concern here is that you go back up. So here, he no longer had the wall stun on you, and you turn back in. He can now flip you. Like, he's in flip distance from right here. He could flip you over to the other side of him, push you in, and all of a sudden you're standing right here, right on top of the Jaina. And you don't know where Uther is either at this point. So you probably should have died again if the Diablo wasn't terrible at their hero. And then here, their CC's just completely out of whack. They're not chaining anything, and their Diablo was already dead. That was a really good grenade play. That was exactly how you do the chase as medic when they're running away from you. You just grenade to push them right back into your team. And it looks like you created a kill. That grenade play was very good. Now you've got to swap over to your teammates, heal them back up, get on the Mal'Ganis. There we go. And now you're just going to let your energy regen. Okay, so this is actually one thing that I want to highlight and praise, is that you see a lot of medics in random games. Anytime they see someone just needing to be topped off, they'll just immediately do it while they're in the process of recharging energy, when energy recharges after you didn't use Healing Beam for 2 seconds. So oftentimes when you're just in lane, sustain topping people off, you use it all, let it all come back. Use it all, or use whatever you need, let it all come back. Use whatever you need, let it all come back. Because if you're sitting there 15 energy, top somebody off a little bit, then wait a second, top somebody else off a little bit, wait a second, top somebody else off a little bit, you're going to limit your energy gain really hard. So I like that even though this guy looks like he may need some healing, you're waiting for all that energy to come back. Right there, you could have probably safeguarded yourself. It's actually not a big deal, but again, the cellular reactor is completely unnecessary. You're going to self-heal from your passive anyway with the 2% health per second, and you weren't in any danger of dying. So now that's a 45-second CD kind of just down the drain. Let's see. Your teammates should be fine. You're in zero danger. You just have to press the heal button. There we go. You're stepping up to support your teammates. There we go. You gotta make sure you're healing the medic here, the Vala here, because she's much squishier than your tank. There we go. This fight right here is very well done. You could be auto-attacking the Diablo. Like, you missed like 2 or 3 auto-attacks on the Diablo that could have given you a little bit of energy regeneration and just killed him a little faster. Not a big deal. Overall, that fight was what I like to see. We didn't have any of the stepping in front of the tanks. We had proper positioning. You were healing the right people. That was good. Here, I would be pinging this Vala off every time. She's never going to kill that Jaina. She's never going to get any core damage. You need to tell her to get out. I don't know where you guys are going. Your teammates are taking bottom keep, and if you rotate through here, you're going to take much longer to get to them. They really could have used you guys here. But it looks like they forced out 2 major CDs anyway from the enemy team in Ring of Frost and Molten Core. Again, this rotation worked out because the enemy team is bad, but it definitely would have been much better to rejoin your team where they were rather than just sort of hard splitting right there. Let's see. So again, this is like crazy up position right here. Like, yeah, we see where they are. So you're okay for right now, but you definitely need to start thinking about standing either here or here. So I should see you cycling over there soon, but instead you're kind of just out here. So the Greymane hopped on you right there. If that was an Uther, you die every single time, being this far forward. Like, let's just go ahead and look at this, okay? I'm going to take off Fog of War here. If this Uther was rotating with the Greymane, and he definitely could, Greymane's not even mounted. Greymane was able to walk from base to you and get onto you like this. Like, there's no real reason to be this far up. You should be behind your teammates. Even if your teammates are like this backline, whoever's the furthest person forward, you shouldn't be next to them in this scenario when people are coming at you out of the bushes, or really in almost every scenario as medic. So right here, say the Uther rotates correctly and goes with the Greymane instead of just cycling behind his team for no reason. And this is Uther Greymane right here, and the Diablo's still right here. Uther walks up, he presses his point and click stun on you, he presses his stun ult on you, Greymane's wailing on you the whole time, and Diablo, because of that stun chain, has enough time to walk up and get the wall stun on you off of this pole right here in the middle. You're guaranteed dead. You needed to be either here or here. These are the only acceptable positions to be in such a way that you wouldn't get wall stunned if Diablo were to pop out on you, and you wouldn't be close enough to the enemy team that an Uther would be able to kill you if he were to pop out on you, especially with the knowledge that the only frontliner on your team is not with you right now. So once again, I think you guaranteed die if the enemy team has any brain cells, and once again, you were out here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this part. So right here, you should be thanking your lucky stars that you're alive and hightailing it, just getting the hell out of Dodge. They've given you the escape. If you walk back in and try to save the Vala here, you're just going to get wall stunned and die. So you're out. Vala's out. You're out. Vala probably not out if Diablo can wall stun her, in which case you can walk back in on her. But going in here right now means Diablo has the free wall stun on you every single time. So, like, you should have gotten wall stunned when you were right here, then Vala should have gotten wall stunned when you were right here, then you should have gotten wall stunned right here. Again, this is the enemy team being bad, but this still needs to be recognized. You die every single time here versus a diamond player. Especially in the middle of this blizzard. If you get stunned in the middle of this blizzard, Diablo wall stuns you right now. You get wall stunned right there, you take the damage, he flips you, you take damage from the blizzard and the flip. You're guaranteed dead right there as well. So, to recap, you needed to be here or here, and then once they got on you, you needed to run away up through here and get out, rather than walking away through the wall stun angle the entire time. Okay, yeah, see, I like this. You guys have the fight established. The main tank is getting CC'd on the enemy team. You've got everything lined up. That was a much better time to stim drone than the first that we saw. Absolutely beautiful. So you're just chasing on through. Once again, cellular reactor, not really necessary. The entire enemy team, literally everyone alive on the enemy team is more than a screen length away from you, or rather a full screen length away from you. You're at 0 risk. All you're really doing by popping that right there is limiting your ability to heal your teammates. It ends up not being super relevant because the enemy team just ducks and runs, but that could have been a problem. Like I said, just as long as you don't think of it as a self-sustain tool, but as a don't die tool, this will go a lot better. It's like popping your heal as the ADC in League of Legends to heal. It's not what it's for. Where are you going? What is this? Your teammates need you to be supporting them on the objective. I'm not sure what this is. Like, you guys are trying to end the game with a core push right now. Not take this camp. So yeah, your Vala could have stayed alive if you were with them right here. And you very likely could have ended the game. Looks like you'll still end the game either way, but after a very long period. And you end up having to go for a subpar stim drone target. Yeah, like generally, if someone is off-laning, you don't like... And as you're pressuring, like you can run to the offlane to give someone a quick heal in the laning phase. But if you're actively pressuring as the 4-man, that's not the time to leave. You gotta just stay there and stick with them. You gotta swap off the false dead here. The Mal'Ganis is like less than 1,000 health. There we go. Luckily it ends up working out anyway, but that could have very easily been a disaster if you had rotated over to this bruiser camp and then your teammates just die without their support there. Overall, I would say stick with the people that need healing. It's not your job to soak. Heal people that need healing. Pop stim once you're already in established fights. And you have to be thinking about, can I die if the enemy team jumps out on me? The positioning needs to be safer in the back line. You're taking a lot of unnecessary trades, and you're also just kind of standing where people can kill you all the time. Are you telling me an ability called heal is not for healing? Seems good. Alrighty, let's go ahead and look at this game here. What do we have? Let's see. This is an interesting team comp, to say the least. I like it, though. The enemy team is all short range. They have literally no ability to threaten a Sergeant Hammer. And as Morales, you can just keep the Sergeant Hammer healed, ensure that they never die, give her stim in fights. This, in my opinion, you guys just crush team fights with this. I would really like if this Thrall was instead more of a peel-oriented offlane. Your Hammer Kilthos is more than enough damage, more than enough area control. You didn't need a Thrall like a damage offlaner. That could have instead been a peel offlaner. And I think this would have been a perfect comp and an auto win if you make that one change. But overall, I still think your team comp dominates theirs in team fights. Jaina griefing level and talent. I mean, it's silver, Cascon. Like, I'm going into this knowing that it's silver, and I'm instead focusing on what Aurora can do, because there are gonna be a lot of misplays. Let's see here. Good healing on the Mal'Ganis. Good auto attack in the very end there. Ooh, I like the grenade play. Looks like it works. Yes. Okay. Keep healing up your team. There we go. There we go. Yep. Top off the Mal'Ganis, and you're good. Now you just let all your energy come back before you do anything else. Getting some good Caduceus feedback hits in. Now you need to top off Ganis again. He's kind of just standing around not receiving healing. This is one thing I've been noticing a lot, is like you'll have teammates that need healing around you, and you're just not healing them. This guy has needed it for a while. He's now at like 40% before he finally receives the heal. But you've got it. And so if he was getting healed earlier, he would be going into this lane with full health. So overall, I think that you need to look at that a little bit more. Just ask yourself, like, do I need to be healing anyone around me right now? Let's see. So again here, you can be healing the Sergeant Hammer or these minions and topping yourself off without losing any energy at all. No way to threaten the Sergeant Hammer, you're so funny, seems good. I mean, I'm obviously saying that assuming people will, like, position even close to correctly. Like, if both teams play this right, like, the way they're supposed to, your team wins every time. The only way your team loses is if they get ganked in laning phase by, like, a roaming gank squad. Because they actually have a really good roaming gank squad for kill pressure, and that's basically all they have. They will never win team fights, but they can win the rotational game. Let's see... Here, this Kilthas needs a safeguard. Let's go back to you. Actually, no, he's okay. Didn't need it at all. I thought they would pressure harder. Yep, just keep healing the hammer. There you go. Time for a short reprieve. So, like, right here, this is, so you know that this lane's not going to get a lot of pressure right now. The Kilthas is backing. There are 3 people in this lane. You guys shouldn't be hard pressuring anyway. And your Mal'Ganis is at, like, 10%, 15% health. I'm eyeballing that. That's probably way lower than it actually is. Let me see. 630. There's no way he's at a third. That must be this number, not this number. Yeah. No, it's because he's at that health, but the dot will take him down. I see. But, yeah, there we go. Okay, so like right now, you know you're not about to pressure this lane. I would ping the hammer to retreat every time. Go back down, top off the Mal'Ganis, heal him up, and then go immediately back to lane. Let's see. But your Thrall got solo killed. I actually wasn't looking at Thrall's health. I don't know if he needed to be topped off, or if he just got wrecked in a duel. Looks like based on his health right now, he did just get wrecked in a duel or something. Yeah, he popped his E, and then just stood there and let Butcher kill him. Seems good. Okay. That wasn't your fault. I do think that this Mal'Ganis, now you're losing towers bot lane because you didn't go heal the Mal'Ganis while the Kilthas was rotating. So again, this is the exact same problem that happened at the start of the Infernal Shrines game, where you definitely needed to rotate down, heal people in other lanes that needed to be healed in downtime, in between waves, that kind of thing. Because otherwise they're just going to get bullied, have their lanes pushed in, and now all of this siege damage, literally all of it, could have been negated, or at least 90% of it. That was a good rotation, though. Let's see. Now Ganis is going to cover mid lane. Didn't even lose any soak. I love it. Ooh, your teammates are taking a very risky rotation. I like that you recognize that you had the heal range over the wall. I was going to mention it, but I wanted to see if you'd do it. Oh, good grenade play. Good grenade play. Beautiful. That's what you need to do. You recognize that when you're chasing, you need to use the grenades for peel. That's good. I would say you use grenades a little bit too much for poke. Like the chase, or not, sorry, I said peel at the wrong time. The chase grenades to create kills are stellar. The poke grenades need to not happen as much, and I don't really see you using grenade for peel that often, other than the miss from the Diablo, or on the Diablo earlier. That was good again. You pushed the Lucio into your range, but now you need to make sure you're not too far up. Go ahead and top everybody off here. There you go. Keep healing the Mal'Ganis. Keep healing the Mal'Ganis. Keep healing the Mal'Ganis. Press the heal button. Press the heal button. Walk up. Not this way. That you kind of walk through the team to get there. Heal the Thrall. Heal the Thrall. There we go. Good safeguard. That's exactly where you need to do it. Keep topping off everyone on your team. There you go. Heal the Thrall. Because right there, you could have told that Mal'Ganis was about to go tap because he has no mana whatsoever. So it's very, very likely that out of anybody here, he's your lowest heal priority target. Because one, he's the tank, and he's going to be fine at 70%. He's not in immediate burst range, whereas other people at half health are, like this hammer at half. This hammer at half, who doesn't look like she's about to go back and hit the healing fountain, is a way higher heal priority target than the Mal'Ganis that has super low mana, which means he's very likely to either hearth or hit the healing fountain real fast, which it looks like is his plan right now. So now you're going into this team fight with the hammer still at half health, and I'm not sure why you're stepping up to trade with the Varian. So again here, too much invested in the Mal'Ganis who's about to tap. Then the hammer needs to be your next immediate heal target. Like, I would be going here. You're about to finish the Thrall. Like, realistically, you get him to 95%, you stop, you go over, you finish, you go onto this hammer. But instead, you're kind of walking straight up to the enemy team in front of everyone else as a ridiculously squishy character. If this variant was taunt, you die every time. You die every single time if this variant is taunt. Even without it, I think you still die. I think if the enemy team just, even if he doesn't have taunt, with Colossus Smash, if everybody just presses their buttons on you right now, you guaranteed die in this scenario. So too far forward positioning and healing the wrong targets here, I'd say. Need to run away, the Butcher will try and kill you. It's a good thing he didn't. There we go, hit that tap. Again, you're not in any danger in the backline anymore. They blew what they had on you and didn't kill you. Now all Cellular Reactor is doing is just guaranteeing you can't heal your team. It should have been popped earlier when they were attempting to kill you. Once you got out alive, you didn't need it anymore. Let's see. These are really good auto attacks on the Butcher right here. He's not going to be able to do anything about them. That's free 8 energy. Now you need to walk up and heal this hammer. There you go. Concoct potion that improves my skill shots and reduces my dumb decisions. Hello, Starchild. How you doing? Let's see. What rank is this? This is low silver. This is like silver 5. Kelthit. Oh my god. What are you doing as they're going on the hammer here? I was looking at the fight, not at you specifically. So we're walking down. You need to just trail down here, get behind your team, and heal the hammer. It's like, this is exactly what I want out of you right now. You heal the hammer, and then you take off the heal. There you go. That's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. So where does it go wrong? I would stay right here. Stay literally here, like exactly where you are, and not leave. Instead, you kind of run away from your teammates. Hammer still needs your healing. You're still running away from her, and you're still running away, and Hammer dies. Like you... So we could see their entire enemy team from where you were. What is this? Anyway. But no, like, I think that what I'm noticing is a lot of failure to correctly assess how much danger you're in at a given time. This is like the big question you need to be asking yourself is just right now, am I in danger? And so there are situations where you say no when you are in danger and you just run straight into the enemy team and trade with them or stand in front of a wall, that kind of thing, and you should die every time, like when you walked up here earlier and they all could have insta-killed you. And then right now, you can, let me see here. So you see 4 of them right there, and you see the 5th one right there. So we saw all 5 members of their team. 4 right here, 1 right here. You're in literally 0 danger right now. They cannot flank you. There is no way for them to get on you on the backline right here. You still see these 2 right here. You see 1 up there. You see 3 over here now. You see all 4. So you see everyone on the enemy team. And this is a low health variant who's not going to be able to kill you. If he tries to kill you in this scenario, it will never work. And you run away from your hammer. I don't know why, but I feel that this was probably just out of a misassessment of the amount of danger you were in, when it was literally none, and the hammer was the one that they were looking to kill there, and who needed the healing. So now again, here you need to be healing the Thrall. There we go, there we go. Thrall's out now. He has no mana. He shouldn't run back into this fight. He has successfully survived. Now your goal is to make sure the Mal'Ganis gets out, so you swap over to Ganis. And you did what you could for him. Maybe could have grenaded earlier. I don't know if it was on CD. Let's take a look. Yeah, so Ganis needs a grenade right here. If you grenade these guys off of him earlier, because grenade doesn't interfere with your healing or anything, so this comes very, very late. I think it comes after he dies. Yeah, if you grenade the Mal'Ganis, give him the safeguard, and you gave him the safeguard, I think there's a very strong chance he could have made it out alive. See. I mean, the hammer, like, regardless of how you feel about the hammer's quality of play, I think that with better play, both of those deaths that happened, Hammer and Mal'Ganis, were directly preventable by better Lieutenant Morales play. And I think that if you... this is directly in response to what we're seeing in the chat from Kelfed here. I think that if you view things in that frame of like, yeah, well, that guy was misplaying super hard, that's the kind of mindset that keeps a lot of people from climbing. In my opinion, you should be playing with the knowledge that, 1, your teammates aren't Grandmasters, and 2, your teammates are humans, and they make a lot of mistakes. you have to play around the mistakes and play and bring in that information. This is something that I talk about a lot on my own stream, where I'll overextend somewhere and I'll say that was my fault. I didn't expect my teammates to make that play, where like I didn't expect them to randomly be in the wrong lane or something like that. I made an incorrect assumption about my team. I'm still asserting that in those scenarios where I'm playing as if my teammates wouldn't make a mistake, I am the one messing up by not being aware of the situation. I was making an incorrect assumption about that time. I once in my own ranked experience, because I did used to be literally the lowest ranks in the game. Like I got placed rank 49 in the preseason out of 50 ranks, and rank 1 was the highest, 50 was the lowest. Like I did used to be like a legitimately like bronze silver level player, and I just realized, okay, stop like literally don't give a shit about your teammates' mistakes. Do everything you can to play around them, not just do what ideally should be done, but instead play with the pragmatic knowledge that your teammates are going to mess up and you need to watch out for those mistakes. You need to play around them. That is when I just started to exponentially skyrocket through those ranks. Yeah, your case says teammates are Grandmasters. I don't know, man. People are gonna mess up. Alrighty. Let's see here. So again, here you're just stuck healing a full target, and as I mentioned earlier, if you heal someone that's full health, you will get that self-heal and it won't spend any energy, but you are preventing your passive from triggering. If you watch your passive right here, it's just staying on. And this entire time you've been healing full health targets. So if you had taken off your healing beam right here and just let it recharge while you were walking in, and you can take off your healing beam by pressing D, as you see right there, cancel healing beam, then you would have been able to come into this fight with way more energy. So again, like here, you're running in past your teammates. Your tank is literally in the fucking base, and your frontlining is medic. I think that this was a super, super risky move. And now we start to see the enemy team punished. They're going to chain CC. This is what cellular reactor is for. This is where I need to see a cellular reactor press. There we go. That grenade was kind of in the wrong direction, and you're gonna die. So yeah, your tank was in the base, and your frontlining is medic. I feel like that speaks for itself. Like, I'm not trying to flame. Like, I'm just trying to be honest. That's what happened. Let's see here. Your teammates are playing way too aggressively for not having a support. Let's see, we're gonna go ahead and skip to you. Okay, so now you're coming in hot. Your Mal'Ganis needed to run to the right. This is bad map awareness by your Ganis. If he ran this way, he would have come in straight to your healing. And now he might die as a result. Looks like he's gonna get out. Again, I'm not really sure why you're so far forward. As medic, your goal is to be behind your teammates. You cannot directly heal yourself. Your only ways to heal yourself are with cellular reactor and by healing a teammate and letting your Caduceus reactor passive trigger. It is way easier for you to keep a teammate alive than it is to keep yourself alive. So as such, you want your teammates to be the ones the enemy team hit, but again, you're standing in front of your teammates here. It looks like, I was gonna say maybe you get the really ridiculously cheeky bait kill off the Varian, but again, you shouldn't be looking to bait bad play out of your team or out of the enemy team, but rather just to have good fundamental play on your own end. And once again, you're kind of not really at risk of dying at all, and we see another cellular reactor press here. So now you're not going to have that critical cooldown going into this next team fight. Once again, you're running in front of your team and
pure skill, baby.
Thanks for the follow.
This is what number one GM
I'm not sure how you're
looks
supposed
like,
to say
baby.
that. Ailer gaming, I don't know, but thanks for the follow. Anyway, once again, you're frontlining in front of your team and you're not healing people around that actively need it. Like, this is like a solid 10-15 seconds of like your teammates needing healing and you not giving it to them. I'm not sure why you're side soaking during this team fight. Once again, like, this isn't your job and your teammates just needed healing. Let's see. Like, that was a really weird excursion. Even if you were a great wave clear hero, I think that that was still not the move and that your teammates were very clearly looking to press forward, but also just, there was like a solid 15 seconds of your teammates actively needing healing and not receiving it. Let's see. Ooh, that grenade play was really close. That was the right idea with that grenade play. So again here, the hammer's full health. Your teammates need the healing at this point. Like, you've got to swap off. Like, top them both off. Because even, like, to put it in perspective, if you, like, literally weren't healing, this would be a better play. Because you would at least be recharging your energy. So the Thrall could be 100% right now. Again, that's another cellular reactor while you're not in danger. And so now you don't have it when this Butcher pressures you and your teammates are both gonna die because they weren't receiving healing. Let's see. Looks like the enemy team actually is just hella debated, and they're in the unfortunate situation of having a Butcher. So you still are gonna be fine. Your teammates still need you to be healing them right here. Like, once again, this isn't your job. This is not your job. If your teammates aren't soaking, tell them to soak, ping them to soak, or if they're all full health, not needing healing, not about to fight, you can maybe think about approaching the soak, but in an active team fight with your teammates at sub-full health, there's no reason to leave and soak a wave. I think that, no lie, probably every death other than the Thrall solo kill in the top lane was preventable by better Morales play here. And again, like, that's not me trying to be mean, that's trying to stress, like, how much of this game I think... I'm trying to express this in a good way. Like, I'm not trying to flame at all, I'm just saying that I think that you could be stomping right now, with very minor adjustments to the gameplay. So again, here the Mal'Ganis just needs to be topped off. Like, you're at full energy, you're just kind of just standing around not healing. Please, press the Q button. Wait.
Pure skill, baby. This is what #1 GM looks like, baby.
So, hey, thanks for the follow. Spitty150 streams? I don't know. But anyway. So right here, the Mal'Ganis needs to be topped off. And also, as I mentioned before, the reason you auto-attack enemy heroes is so that you can get the Caduceus feedback energy, or just to squeeze out a little bit of extra damage to confirm a kill. And neither of those things are relevant when you're getting Butcher charged right here and you step in for the auto attack. So let's see, Butcher puts his charge on you. If you're going to be healing a minion, it should be the melee minions that are tanking the damage. But right here, you need to just start running away immediately once this Butcher charges on you. It means this character is going to go ahead and run straight at you and stun you when he reaches you. You're basically at full energy. This Caduceus feedback isn't going to do anything for you, and you're not confirming kills. You're trying to run away right now. So stepping up for this auto attack right here doesn't really help. Also, that grenade is thrown in such a way that you're not able to use it on the Butcher after, and you get stunned during the activation, but luckily it hits the Murden anyway at max range. Like, yes, you didn't die because this was a very poorly timed Butcher charge from the enemy team, but even with that knowledge in mind, if you had continued to run away instead of stepping forward into the Butcher charge, you would have pulled Butcher further out of position, guaranteeing his death, because right now it's still kind of up in the air while he's this far out, but if he had to start this journey from, you know, that much extra distance away, this kill is basically guaranteed. So let's see here. God, my throat feels like so... I don't want to say dry, because it doesn't, but like, I don't know. Something's different today. Okay, so once again, you're getting charged, and you step back into it. You could have eked out just a few extra steps from this Butcher here. Yeah, every time you touch the edge of that, you're going to get pulled back into the center, and it silences you the entire time the chain is on you. So once again, this is just an issue of you need to be behind the backline, not with the backline. So like right here, you're kind of like barely behind your front line when you should be healing this Kayle, like topping off this Kayle at max distance. So like you should be like standing like right here, barely heal this Kayle, and then like basically just be on your mount right here. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you were just sitting on your mount right here at this position, there's no way you can ever die. And anytime, like if they go on you, you just walk away because you're on your mount. If they go on your teammates, okay, fine, dismount. They didn't go on you. That's exactly what you want as medic. As medic, you want them to start hitting someone else. So, it's just another case of being too far forward here. It's like, once again, you step up for the auto attack unnecessarily, step back into the butcher charge, and then you just get hit by that. Whereas if you were mounted right here, perfectly safe every time. This will likely lead to your hammer dying because she just doesn't seem to know that she's in danger. Her Z was off cooldown. So the hammer dying was a direct result of the hammer hard misplaying, but... So it's the butcher footsteps, or what that is. But anyway, the hammer dying was a direct result of their own misplays, but if you had positioned better, then you would have been able to save them anyway, in spite of their own misunderstanding of how to play their character. It's like, literally, I think just that one minor positioning change, and you negate this entire team wipe. I mean, you guys are honestly getting behind because you're down a bunch of kills. Like, you're down 5 kills. And, I don't know, you could have very easily not had those deaths. Like, I'm not even kidding, like, I think that with really good play, like, this would probably be, like, 1 kill. I think that likely all of the other deaths were preventable. See. This is a very late rotation. I'm not sure. I need to look back at it again. I don't know if you were sitting there clearing minions. Soak is the most important thing, but you can't... If you're... Like, healers are good at fighting, and fighting. That is what healers are good at in this particular game, because that's how they're balanced out. Like, Blizzard took all of the macro pressure out of the healers a long time ago, and now it's only kind of left in Rehgar and a little bit in Kharazim. So, if you do this as the healer where you're sitting there side soaking, yes, you're ensuring that all the lanes are soaked, but you really are better off just going to your teammates and pinging your teammates onto this. Like, this should be the Kel'Thas on this every single time, because your teammates will just int without you. Like, I get wanting to soak, and I have said many, many times on my stream that soaking is the most important thing, and the double soaking is an easy way to win games, as literally any other role in the game. Not healer. When you're playing a healer, you need to just be with your teammates, help them out in the fights. If you were anyone else, except maybe the main tank, like if you were the offlaner, I'd love this. If you were the Kel'Thas, I'd love this. If you were the hammer, I wouldn't love this, specifically because of how hammer works and how she has slow rotation speed between lanes due to not having a mount. But in general, this is not your job. I don't know, I'm tending to repeat myself. I know that you've heard this now a few times, but I just want to reiterate. Let's see. So again, you're kind of leading the charge as medic there. I guess it doesn't really matter because you knew the enemy team was all bot lane, so ignore that. You're fine. Although here, you know the enemy team's starting to creep up. Channeling this is super risky. Thrall should be doing it every time while you stay back, because Thrall wants to be in this position. Like, if this Muradin was here 3 seconds earlier and his team was with him, ooh, that could have been dangerous. Like, it's just a principle thing. You should have the people, like, you want to be in the front doing that in that scenario. Once again, the team fight isn't established. You don't have 2 of your teammates with you. They hadn't engaged on the hammer, yet we're seeing the stim drone come out. I don't think you're going to get any value out of this. This Thrall needs your healing. He still needs your healing. There we go. Now the hammer needs it. Ah, it's too late. In general, I think taking that fight at all was a bad idea. I don't think we needed to stim. I think everybody needed to just run away. If you would all just run away from the enemy team, you probably would have been fine. And I think that just like what I was talking about in the Infernal Shrines game, where you just kind of panic pop stim drone, which baits your Vala into a bad fight. I think you panic popped stim drone on the hammer, which baited your hammer into a bad fight, which baited your Thrall into a bad fight, and got all of you killed. Whereas if the Thrall was the one channeling this right here, and you and Hammer were over here, because Hammer was sieged up right here, you would be on your mount right here, then you guys would have been able to leave and disengage from that fight much sooner, and very likely none of you die. this doesn't help at all, Aurora. In the chat. Let's see. Oh, I get you. Like, I even fall prey to that sometimes. There are plenty of times, anybody who watches my stream enough knows I get frustrated. I blame people, and I'm not always 100% correct. I don't claim to be. It's just something we shouldn't strive to do. I'm not, like, fully chastising you for that. Oh my god, Aurora, what the hell? Like, so I want to see this from your perspective. So they take the boss. We saw Jaina mid right there for a split second. You know Kael'thas is bottom. You know Thrall is mid. You see 4 of them here right now. And you're this close to the enemy team. This is a 3v4 with minions tanking this fort. And now it's 3v5. If the enemy team was paying attention at all, because Butcher charges up, Muradin jump is up, Muradin stun is up, Lucio's push off is up, Varian's Colossus smash and charge are both up, Jaina's slows are all up. Stepping that close to the enemy team should have guaranteed killed you every single time. And now it looks like Butcher still wants to charge on you, and I think you're still gonna die. Yeah, this is just another thing. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, a lot of times when you're not fighting and no one needs healing, the best play, stand behind your front line, or stand behind your back line on your mount. Let's see. Like, this is a very backline oriented character you're on. And I could see it, Aurora. Let's see. Like I said, like, I honestly think if you just, like, think of this and just remember, okay, like, heal people off when they need to, pop stim after we get into a fight, and stand behind my teammates, which are all very, very minor adjustments, I think you instantly take your play to a diamond level. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is something you can do before you even play one more game. You can take your Morales to a diamond level like that. Not even kidding. So, like, even though I'm saying a lot of these things, I don't want you to find this discouraging. I want you to instead think, wow, like, if I just make these very, very minor changes, like, this game can go so much better. Also, I like that the Kael is pointing out that your team needed a bruiser. I think that rather than going triple melee, although triple melee could have worked, I think that instead the Kael pick was fine and that the Thrall should have been a bruiser, as I mentioned earlier, but I just want to go and touch back on this. Like I mentioned at the start of the game, I think that this is a good recognition of what a Hammer Medic comp needs. Like, Hammer Medic Kael could have really functioned better with that. Just as a little bit of side note, drafting knowledge. Alright, let's see here. Oh! Again, that's just a little early. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it's just over at this point. Actually, no, game's not over yet. Okay, enemy team's greeting hard then. Here. Okay, so I wasn't saying much because I thought the game was over anyway, but now I'm gonna go back over this. Let's go back into this. So right now, no reason to get off your mount. Literally none, and no reason not to be over here. You want to be right here so that you're behind your teammates and so you can step into the Hall of Storms whenever necessary. But instead, you're kind of just, again, way in front of your team, which means you get engaged on right here, very nearly die, end up blowing your cellular reactor. And also means that you're not healing the Mal'Ganis as this happens. Let's see. Like, you should be fine. Like, if you were over here, you would be 100% health. Like, if you were over here from the start, you would literally be full health. And if you're full health right now, that means you can step up and heal this Mal'Ganis. But instead you can't, so Mal'Ganis goes down right away. And then now, these guys still need healing right here. You need to be healing somebody. I don't know if you just forgot to put down a heal, or if you just kind of gave up because you thought the game was over. But I think both of those deaths were preventable. And I think that if you do prevent those deaths, you probably kill the Lucio on top of that. And if you walk out of this with 5 people alive and 4 people dead on the enemy team, then what happens here is that you take this null camp, you push down mid-fort dies, you take their null camp, you now have 2 null camps on the enemy keep dies, you now have a way to win the game. Because right now you still don't actually have a win condition opened up on the map yet. Next objective very likely will simply take these forts down, maybe get some damage on mid-keep, maybe even take down mid-keep, but you will never end off next objective unless the enemy team just mass wipes. And if the enemy team mass wipes for no reason, you're going to win anyway. So I think pressing the heals would have done a lot to further your team's status here on the map, which sounds obvious on its head, but I want you to understand the specific effects it would have had on how the situation looks. What the fuck is this pyroblast? Okay. Let's see, let's speed it up a bit. See, I like this. You recognize the Mal'Ganis needs some healing. You step off to the side and heal him. Now you're rejoining your team again. What the fuck? I wasn't even looking. What the hell happened over here? Okay, let's see. I'll watch this back again. Looks like Thrall just probably gets jebaited and chases out here and dies. Yeah. That's gonna happen sometimes. I don't think you could have prevented that death. I do think you don't need to be here killing these minions. It's like 2 minions and your teammates are fighting. This definitely needs to be a situation where you're healing. Yeah, like this is gonna get auto-cleared every time, and the core on Alterac Pass heals itself, so anytime the core doesn't die, it'll just heal itself back up anyway, and it's not gonna die to this one wave. And even if it was, you probably shouldn't be the one clearing it anyway. I think you should definitely be here healing your teammates instead of on this wave. And that death was preventable right there. And you also need to be healing Kael'thas. There we go. Which will turn into healing on Mal'Ganis. Ooh, this is super risky. Like, again, 2 reasons you auto-attack. Caduceus feedback energy, confirm a kill. This is neither. All risk, no reward. And it looks like, yeah, you're getting yourself very, very close to death off that, and you had to lose a ton of energy and a significant cooldown as a result of poking for no reason. You can mount up instantly while you're in the Hall of Storms, so you definitely want to press that button. Like, there's no cast time to it, and even if there was, you still would have been able to do it anyway. So you would get to your Mal'Ganis faster, pop your healing on him sooner. Heal the Kael, pop Safeguard on him. Do you have it? You do. Yeah, he definitely needed that 30 armor there. Heal the Thrall, pop Safeguard on him. Nope. Pop Safeguard on Mal'Ganis. Nope. I think once everybody else was dead, that hammer was gonna die for sure, but I think everything else there was preventable. Okay. So I think we've got a really good list of just like things to take home and think about. We've said it a million times, but I just want to condense it into a list. Stay behind teammates. Only poke for those 2 reasons that I mentioned, and when it's safe. Heal when people need healing. Pop stem after fights start. Pop W on people that are getting focused. It's literally free. I think that basically is most of the things we need to talk about. Oh, and Cellular Reactor is a save button, not a sustain heal button. Healing Beam costs energy? Healing Beam does cost energy. Safeguard does not cost energy, is what I'm saying. Safeguard is completely free. That seems like Morales-specific advice? Yes, it is. I mean, I'm coaching a Morales game. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or what are you talking about here? Healing Beam doesn't cost energy on full health targets? It doesn't. What, was that the topic of discussion in this conversation? If you're autoing with Caduceus feedback with Beam Up, you can maintain your energy. Your energy will still go down. If you're actively healing and autoing at full speed, your energy will still go down. Like, it's a simple math question. Like, let me see if I can target the medic here. There we go. So she's got 1 attack speed, right? And Caduceus feedback generates 4 energy every time you auto attack. So that's 4 energy a second. You attack once per second, 4 energy on every auto attack, 4 energy a second. Healing Beam takes 6 energy per second. So even if you're auto attacking at full speed, you lose 2 energy per second with Caduceus feedback. But yes, Beam does not consume energy if the target is full health. I'm not sure It looks like maybe I jumped into a conversation about something else here. Automatic stimmed by another medic seems good. Okay, but either way, Aurora, I think that those are sort of the take-home things to work on from this game, and they're really like small adjustments that would elevate your game very, very high. And I think if you do those things, you'll be able to easily hard carry these games, climb like a skyrocket. Is a skyrocket a thing, or is skyrocket just a verb? Either way, I think that you can do that. Those are what to do for the future. If you have any other questions before we get into the Tracer game, please drop them now. I wasn't looking at the chat that much during the game, so I may have missed something, or if anybody has any questions about it, but I will now begin to go into the Tracer game that we have up next. If only you could stim yourself, it would be infinite energy as long as M18 doesn't attack you. Stim's level 20 upgrade used to be that it also affected yourself. I think it was like a cooldown reduction and it cast it on yourself, and she didn't have Caduceus feedback back then. So it was just really, really dumb. Like, that whole part of the talent upgrade was silly. Like, I think it was only useful for the movement speed, and even then it was like, eh. I'll send you a full notepad list on Discord if you want to add any other notes. Okay, Aurora, sounds good.